everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I'm doing a surprise, a full face of first impression. So again, this is stuff that I've been picking up along the way and I thought I would incorporate into one video. Everything is pretty affordable. I would say almost everything is under like £20 for sure, because there's one item that is like £18 or whatever, and then one I have a sample of, and this and that. And so I thought I would just put them into one video. So we're gonna start with the primer, and this is a sample more than anything else, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Glow Primer. Basically, there's too many words, but every time I do like an order, you get 2 samples. So I got this quite recently. I'm pretty sure I have tried it before, I can't remember, but I thought I would use it today because I don't have a new primer, and I thought I would just use this because I really want to see what it's like as a primer, in all honesty, and even maybe as like a moisturizer. So it's kind of like a deep kind of, not a deep, but it's kind of like a glowy primer, hence the name. Clearly it's got a bit of a big scent to it. I know the full size of this is like, I think it's like £40, and I would never spend that much money on a primer. I don't care if it's made out of pure gold. I think it's £40, I'm pretty sure it is, because obviously it's Charlotte Tilbury and all her stuff is beyond expensive. But if you ever want to use my code, you can do that if you want to save yourself some money. And saying that, I do always like to treat myself. Like, I've picked up quite a lot of her stuff recently, just because I have been very curious, and that's why when I get these samples, I want to see if they really work. Like, I really like the Magic Cream, but would I spend like £80–90 to buy it? Not really. Obviously you can see it is very shiny. I'm not the biggest fan of like glowing primers or glowing foundations or whatever, but sometimes it's nice to change it up a bit. So we'll see how it goes. I've got my fan on, so it will probably dry down a little bit quicker than normal. So we're going to go into a foundation or a tinted whatever, like moisturizer. So this is the XX Revolution skin tint. I have not seen this on their website. I was recently on Instagram and I saw Make Me Up by Mitchel had found this in her local booths, and I was like, let me see if it's on the Revolution website. It's not even on there. I think this might be like a Boots exclusive, and there's not that many shades. So this is the Skin Blur Soft Focus demi matte finish, and this is in light sand. So I think, like I mentioned, there's not that many shades when I look. I think there's about maybe 6 or 7, and this is a medium coverage with a natural soft finish. It is quite tiny when you think about it. Like, I think this was about £8–9. So when you think about Revolution, obviously you would tend to think of very affordable, but the XX Revolution stuff is a little bit higher, quote unquote higher end of some of their products. But yeah, I'm going to take a brush today because I feel like mixing it up a little bit, and we're just going to take some on here. Again, I don't know how much to put on. I'm just going to start off with the tiniest amount and hope it gives me some coverage, because obviously this redness, I want to cover it. So I know some tinted moisturizers or tinted foundations can be quite full coverage for me. Of course, like the Maybelline one, the skin tint is absolutely like amazing, and it's such crazy full coverage, which I was not expecting, because when I see the word tint and like moisturizer, I just think that there's going to be like no color, no pigment, and obviously with that, that's not the case. But with this, I think I'm going to have to add maybe a little bit, because it's not giving me much. Light sand is probably too light for me, which is fine, because we always mix it up a bit with a blush or highlighter and stuff like that. So I'm just going to keep on kind of blending this in. I hope we get some coverage. Okay, I've covered like as much as I can. It is not like medium coverage in my opinion. I think it is a very light coverage. It says, yeah, medium coverage with a natural soft finish. So I think it's, I don't know, I think it's quite light than anything else. I think if I added any more, it would be too much, and it'll probably become quite cakey, because under my eyes we are slightly creasing. But we're going to move on to concealer now. So I have it's new for me obviously, but old for older products. So this is the Elf Flawless Brightening Concealer. So this is yeah, a concealer that I've wanted to try for ages, and I love like the clicky pens that this is. And I got the shade Light Sand. No, sorry. This is called Light Sand. This is Fair 15. So we are just going to click until we get something. I mentioned in one of my videos before that I'm not the biggest fan of the other Elf concealers, because I just feel like for me it's too thick. And I'm just going to wait and see if there's anything that comes out of this, because I don't want too much to come out and completely like ruin every. Oh, okay. Right, good thing I caught that. So it's got like the tiniest amount, and we are just going to brush that obviously under the eyes. So this is not a brightener, this is a concealer-ness, I would imagine it is. Brightening concealer. So I can put it in other places that I would normally like to use a concealer for. So not a lot of product came out of that, but that's fine. We're going to go in with my brush and we're just going to tap. I don't know if it's the foundation or the concealer, but it has a really strong scent. I think it might be the foundation. It's got like this kind of chemically smell to it. So I don't know, a lot of products these days are very either very like scented or not scented, and I personally would be happy without a scented product, because I mean, well, for me it's more because of my sensitive skin, but anything else, like if it's a certain smell, I know like Huda has very like scented products and sometimes they can be quite powerful, but that's like, this is more of a chemically one. But so far this is okay. It's given me a little bit more coverage. I think with this with this product, it is, I don't know, is it, it's like it's a buildable coverage. I don't think it's like super full coverage, which I would like, but that's fine. So let's go on to blush now. This is a brand I've never tried before and I am really excited to try. So finally I'm trying the Pixi by Petra On The Glow blush. I was going to say brush. I got this in Sephora and I had like a £5 off voucher. So I got it for, what is my maths, £10. no, normally it's £18, so I got it for £13. And I'm hoping this is good. I've heard good things about it. So I mean, this is in the shade Ruby, and I think I mentioned before that there were a couple of shades, but because obviously blushes, I want my blush to stand out a lot, I would prefer to go for a deeper shade. So I'm hoping this is gonna work. This is gonna give me something, because I have high hopes. So I'm just gonna drag this on my face, and we're gonna blend it in as well, so we're not just gonna keep it. But that's very nice. That's quite glowy, which is what I like. I don't always want a matte kind of blush, to be honest. That's why I like to use a lot of cream ones, because a lot of times now they are quite like dewy looking. So I might have put on a bit too much, but that's totally fine. I'm just going to take a bit more. So I guess you can either use it straight from the stick or with a brush as well, or even a sponge if you want to kind of build it up. But this is quite buildable. It's not like you put it on and it's done. And I like the fact that it's like you can turn it up and down as well, because sometimes with products, if it stays up there it could get ruined. And obviously, because it's still like a brand new product in my collection, I don't want it to get ruined. But it's quite nice. I mean, I'm not sure what else to try by Pixi, because I've not heard much, in all honesty. I've only heard stuff about the blush stick, so that's why I really wanted to pick it up. But I've not heard anything about you know, eyeshadows or other things like that. I know that they came out with like a Hello Kitty collection recently, not recently but a while ago, which looks quite cute. So we'll see. Let me know if there's anything that I should test out. So let's talk about highlighter. So this is a multi-use product, and I actually did an ad with NYX professional makeup. This is not one, this is just me using it in my channel. So this is the jumbo face stick. So previously they've come out with other ones, but this is like technically like a highlighter and stuff like that. So I have the shade, I think this is Lemon Meringue. no, flan. So this is flan, and I previously used it on my eyes, but today I'm going to use it as a highlighter because I feel like I want to see what it looks like as a highlighter, because you know the dewy of the blush did make it look quite glowy, but I kind of want to try this as a highlighter because I know it might be a bit too deep for me, but we're going to give it a go still. So I'm just going to tap this on and blend it up. When I use it as an eyeshadow, I really loved it as an eyeshadow because it just blended so nicely. And with this, I think it might be probably too deep for me, but I do really like this formula. I do like the other pencils as well, like they had a white and black one, and then they do have a kind of purplish pink tone that I use as a blush, which I really liked. I just didn't want to use it today because obviously I've used it as a blush before. So this as a highlighter I think might be not my shade, obviously, because it, like I said, it's very it's much deeper for me because it's more of a gold tone than anything else, so I probably wouldn't use it again as a highlighter. So I'm going to quickly go off camera, powder and put on my Urban Decay primer because we'll be moving on to the eyes after this. So on the eyes today I'm using the Mini Quad by Uoma by Sharon. So I mentioned this brand a few times already because I have used their foundation, which is one of my favorite foundations of this year. I'm not even joking, it's so good. And I tried one of their cream blushes, which I really loved, and even by Uoma, their high-end brand, they had a lipstick that I tried recently which I really loved. So Superdrug are selling their mini quads. So this is the Dreaming palette, so you get 2 shimmers and you get 2 matte tones. I specifically went to a certain Superdrug to get these because not all Superdrug actually carries Uoma by Sharon. So I really wanted to get this, and I'm happy that I did because I'm going to use all 4 shades today because why the hell not? So they do have names, but knowing me, I might say them in the wrong order. But this one apparently is Luna, that's Enlightened, Shine On 'Em and Glazed. I'm hoping that's the right one. So I'm going to start off with this really light one, which is called Luna, and this is a kind of nice transition shade. So this is probably going to be a nice palette for like everyday looks. I do have my eye primer on by Urban Decay because it's my #1 and only one that I go to. So we're just going to put this on first, and we're just going to blend that in because it's going to be one of the primary shades basically. That's gone on beautifully. So let's go on to the next one, which is called Enlightened. I've forgotten it 2 seconds later. We are going to make this one a wing, so we're just going to kind of take it on a smaller brush and blend it outwards. Not that I know what I'm doing, but we're going to blend it out and bring it in. So I'm definitely going to use 2 of the shimmers because I feel like I might as well use both of them because they look absolutely stunning. So this one I'm just going to pack on and make it a deep wing. Okay, so that's not too bad. I think it's slightly just a tad patchy on this side. I mean, I've never tried their shadows before. It is quite a nice shade, but it's just coming off just a tad patchy. We're going to go in with the shimmers now because they could be packing a punch. So I'm going to try this one first, which is called Glazed, and then towards the end we'll use this one. So we're taking one of my flat brushes, and if that doesn't work then I'm going to use my fingers because using warm fingers does really help. So that's going on nicely. Ooh. Okay. I do have a new eyeliner to test out afterwards, so I'm not going too heavy in kind of the line of my eyes. So I'm just going to use this side. And then now we're going to go on to the last shade, which is called Shine On 'Em. So I'm taking a flat brush. I'm just going to take the corners here. Oh, they blend in very nicely together. It's kind of like an icy shade, which is quite nice. It's a little bit kind of crumbly, which is okay, but there's not really any fallout on my face, which is fine because I don't want that. I do not want any fallout on my eyes because I don't know, just make it look really messy. But I think the eye look I've done is quite nice. It kind of reminds me of my latte one that I did recently, or that everyone's bloody doing at the moment. But you know what, for $8.50, I wouldn't say it is like, I think this deeper one might have to be pushed a little bit more, because it is slightly like, you have to build up quite a bit. It's a little tad patchy. The first shade is quite nice and the other shimmers are stunning, so those so far are quite nice. So let's go on to eyeliner. So this is by Rimmel. This is their Scandal Eyes Precision Micro Eyeliner. So this is super duper tiny, which I like because it's for precision more than anything else, obviously. So I'm gonna hope I make a nice wing and that it doesn't get caught, because the Rare Beauty one that I used recently, I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much, so I'm just gonna try this one out. Okay, that went on pretty decently. I mean, it did catch a little bit, like it was quite staggered, but I like how small it is because you can be very, very precise with it, apart from just my wings being terrible. So let's go on to lips, and I have tried this formula before, but it's a new shade, and this is by NYX Makeup. So this is their Smooth Whip. I've tried 2 shades before because they sent them to me, but this shade I bought myself, and it's called the Berry Bed Sheets, and this is a purple. So I wanted to try this one for ages. They also had like a really nice green one, but in Superdrug they didn't have it, and I thought, let's just pick up the purple because it's a bit different, and why not? And autumn is coming, and these are kind of like autumnal shades that I love, so I love the formula anyway. I just want to see if it's pigmented or if it's a bit patchy, because obviously with deeper colors it's easy to be patchy. So let's see how this looks, and the doe foot is nice and tiny, so for precision we're all good. Let's go. Okay, so this is a bit of a struggle because I was just so out of line and trying to near it up with concealer and everything, but we eventually got there. I know it still looks a bit messy, but this is truly pigmented. It still has, in all honesty, it is still slightly patchy. Like, I still feel around the middle, and I think I've put on like 2 layers, and this is just me being honest. I know I like have a lot of association with NYX, but I still want to tell you guys obviously my truth and honesty about it. And as much as I love the colour, you can obviously see that it's slightly patchy, so there's no reason for me to like tell you guys that it's not. But I still like the formula. It's very comfortable. Even the other shades that are not crazy difficult to kind of like use are still great and do not look as patchy as this one, but I will continue to use it because it's purple, it's my aesthetic, and you can always add like a gloss or something over it to make it look a bit more oomph. And this is my finished look. Let me know what you guys think. Let's kind of do a bit of a quick rerun over everything. The primer, I mean, the Charlotte Tilbury primer is fine. It doesn't really give off any shine when I put on my foundation or the tint or whatever this is. This is okay. It's not, it makes my skin a little bit dry, like around my nose. It's just a bit patchy. The blush is nice, very buildable. I wouldn't say I would buy it again at an £18 price, but I will obviously continue to use it. This is like great for £8.50. It's a nice everyday on the move. Again, this dark shade needs to be built up quite a bit. The concealer is nice. It's not the most amazing, but it's still decent. Eyeliner is pretty much the same. It's not what I would say like Rare Beauty standards, because that's the standard I'm gonna go on forever now for eyeliners. It's still nice. I mean, I got some of the I've got these in like 3 for 2 today in Superdrug, so if you want something and you want to go like 3 for 2, then obviously it's a perfect time to do it. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there, and I appreciate you guys sitting down with me, listening to me ramble on, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.